This midweek Metropolitan Preview on the Sports Daily is presented by Tab Touch.
All right, taking a look at the preview from Northam. Nigby Beecham, you're still here. G'day.
Hello.
Good to see you still.
Likewise.
Scott, nice to see you. Look a little bit rugged after Kalgoorlie. Got you?
How are you?
Yeah, going well. Kalgoorlie got you?
Yeah, a bit croaky.
Yeah, well, fair enough. It's not the first one, not the last one, Darren.
He looks far more immaculate today than he did at lunch last Friday. He had that holidaying, dishevelled, I don't really care sort of a look about him.
I got a 10-day beard going. Be a while since I've had one of them.
Was doing a bit.
Wasn't the plan. I just didn't take my electric shaver and can't use a razor.
Had a bit of the George Clooney's about him, I noticed, at the lunch. Yeah,
right.
He was up and about.
10-day beard and Scott Embry doesn't sort of go hand
Drawing
in
a
hand,
lot
does
of
it?
drawing a lot of attraction.
Yeah,
He was.
thought you were more
That's how
like
he rolls.
a 10-year beard.
Anyway, smooth as a baby's behind today, though, aren't you, Chet? You've had a run-in with a razor.
Found it. Found
Good
the
work.
charger.
Nice to see you too. See, Degs, morning.
Good morning. Good morning to everyone.
Or would you like to say good morning to Joey Azzopardi?
Let's say very good morning to Joey, because we were going to get Joey on last Friday, but he was unavailable. Joe, good morning. Take two.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
Yeah, good.
How was Kalgoorlie, first of all?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of fun. Stayed up from Thursday to Sunday, and we all know what Cal gets like during round week. So it was good fun.
Joey, you just missed out on that little percentage in the golden saddle.
Oh,
One spot away, hey?
It was funny. I was counting what was in front of me. I thought, okay, I'm in 10th, and I got about 50 to go, and Paddy's come from about 5 off me. I hear him roaring, get up. He's nabbed me a bloody nose on the line for 10th.
Unconfirmed reports that you did say you've never heard someone roar a horse home like that one to run 10th.
No, I was concerned about going out of contention with the whip, because I was we're a long way off them, and we're going pretty hard here. So, it was funny, but
how was the day, Joe?
You've got to see the light side of those things, Joe.
The day itself, though, we had a good chat to SJ. We've spoken to Billy Beeman, a few people on the show. The day itself and the round. How did you come away from it, given you've been part of a few?
Yeah, well, Cal Cup Day was great. They got a really good turnout, and the track was in great order too. They put plenty of water on it, and there was plenty of length in the grass, so that was really good to see the track like that. Hannon's Day was a little bit quiet compared to previous years, but I think Cup Day made up for it.
All right. Now, we are focusing on Northam today. Before we get back to Ascot on the weekend, we might just quickly ask you about a ride or two that you are going to have on the weekend. But before that, we'll look at Northam. You ride Tabba Boom again for Donna in race 2, this 1,300-metre maiden. It's fair to say she's racing well. Is today the day where she can break through?
Yeah, she's getting pretty close to a win. Just the barrier's a bit of concern for mine. If she can get over, she'll go forward. If she can get over without doing too much work, I think she'll run a big race. But she is limited, so if I have to use her up too much early, it will make things tricky. But yeah, hope for a bit of luck early.
Didn't look like there was that much pace under you, Joe.
I don't think so. On paper, it does look like I'll get over okay. So if it works out that way, we should be right. I think she'll be in the first one or two. I thought there was just that one of Philomere to beat. Besides that, looks pretty winnable race.
Joey, what about Marcho Akiro for Pip Elliott there, lining up in the third over 1,600? This is a 5-year-old. He's had 14 runs. He's been placed at 3, and they've all been from his last 3 starts, suggesting here that he is certainly knocking on the door. Can he win what is not an overly strong mile maiden?
Yeah, well, I agree with you there. It's definitely a weak race, so and he's on the improve. So, John a little bit sticky too, but he'll look for a spot in the first 4 or 5, and if we can get in like we did last start, he keeps whacking away. I think a good tempo will suit him, and hopefully, he doesn't blow me away, but he's on the improve. So if he can improve again, I think he can finish in the money.
Okay.
Hasn't been a day for barriers for you, Joe. She's some crack in race number 4, also drawn off the track, but last start she had no luck. Prior to that, she was actually going okay. Yeah,
one part of that was good, and I think from that draw today, I'll just drag her back and see if she can hit the line. So I was speaking to Dexter yesterday actually, and he said that they rode her quiet in a trial one day and she hit the line really well. So we're going to try something different today.
All right, and you round out the day's commitments up there in Northam with Golden Kathleen for Donna. Now, Grant and Alana have the favourite here, but it must be said this mare looks like she's ticking over nicely and hits a very willable assignment.
Yeah, definitely. She's actually been a little bit frustrating because, before the last start, she'd probably been going only fair. So last start she ran second. She had every chance that day, and this doesn't look any easier. So hopefully she can improve again and win a race for us.
All right, who's the best of the four?
Tabba Boom would be my best.
Okay, Tabba Boom in race 2. And what does Saturday look like, Joe?
Yeah, it looks good. We've got 5 or 6 rides, a few nice rides for Luke. Just excited to get back to Ascot, really.
Yeah.
We all know the vibes are much better at Ascot. And I had a chance to look at the track, and the track looks great. So, it's an exciting time of year going back to Ascot.
All right. Best of luck, not only today, but also on the return to headquarters, Joe. Great to have a chat.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
There's Joey Azzopardi taking a look at his rides today at Northam. I think he sums up the thoughts of most people in WA racing getting back to Ascot.
He does. We were lucky enough to be down there yesterday, Scotty and I, and a group of other of our colleagues, and had a good look at the place, and they've done some renovations. The new ladies' jockeys room there has certainly taken it to a new level. Absolutely outstanding what Perth Racing have done there. They've done some other works around the course, still being tidied up, but they'll get to it and it'll be pristine for the start of the return to Ascot on Saturday. But you can see the track. We were up there and on top of the Ollie's bar and looking down onto the course, and it just looked like absolute pristine bowling green. So yeah, they've had a wonderful winter with the track and the early prep through the spring, so we can be very confident going back there that this track's going to be absolutely outstanding.
Absolutely. James Oldring, the CEO of Perth Racing, yesterday morning on the Sports Daily said just as much. Gave a big shout out to Matt Cork and the team there at Perth Racing. So
Matty does a great job.
If you did miss that, you can head back on the podcast and hear all the things Perth Racing have done in preparation for the return back to Ascot on Saturday. All right, looking at Northam race number 1, Tab Touch placed the same race multi-maiden over the 1,000 metres. Scratch number 1, Snippergent. And at $2.30, Moonwalk is the favourite, opened at $2.60. Dance With Me, $4.40 into $3.90, Exceed the Boom, $6.50, has been supported in from $8.50. $6.50 also Bondi Lifesaver, $9.50, 90 Mile Straight, $15 and up the remainder. I'm not sure your voice is going to reach race number 7, Scott, but you can kick off race number 1.
I think here that Moonwalk's found a winnable race, TC, though. That 2-year-old form, it speaks for itself, splitting 2 Darn Stormy and playing it sweet on the first occasion, and then no luck at Pinjarra that day when she was a beaten favourite. The trial, I thought she did enough. It was a pretty slowly run trial. She found herself in front. Willie Pike was able to really control and dictate, and then she turned it into a little sit and sprint to suit herself. The filly that she beat in that trial, Intoxicating, is no star, has trialled at Belmont since, got beaten 6.5, so it's not like she held off a talented or overly talented type, but I think she can do enough here just to land right place, right time, and if she shows that bit of gate speed that she did at the trials, she could put herself in the firing line, which I think is pretty important.
I tend to agree with you there in regards to Moonwalk, but overall I thought, on paper at least, it looked a difficult maiden. Whilst I'll be probably tipping Moonwalk, it's not with any great deal of assurity.
All right, Dickers, you like the trial of one at close to double figure?
Yeah, I thought the trial of 90 Miles Straight was excellent.
Yep.
I thought it was excellent trial. I really did, and if I had more courage, I would have put this filly on top. I liked the trial. She was 3 deep. She was riding the speed, and she was only beaten a length behind Call Me Invincible into 4th. She's had a couple there for Trevor this time in. Sean O'Donnell rides today, and it wouldn't be a shock if she caused an upset, but I am with the 8 here.
Diggs, you're right, because when it looked as though she might have been under pressure at the 150, found a bit more and kept coming at the line, I thought, if the trial had been further, she may have even won the trial. So,
and she's now 950. I think there has been some money for her. I'd be really disappointed and surprised if she didn't run top 3 today.
Thought that she might have been a high exotics play in the race as well too. I'm going to go though with Moonwalk. I thought the trial was enough. It's got the form there on the board. Now whether, and we'll see this in, I think, numerous circumstances through the program today. Horses that might have gone very well at their most recent runs, the horses behind them subsequently, either through races or trials, haven't. And there's a couple of those instances where we think, can I rely on that form? Is that the form that I really want to use going into these races? But anyway, it'll all be very subjective. I'm with 8. Dance With Me is an interesting one, although the pads going on probably leads me to a little bit of a concern with this mare who did win a trial. She was able to lead controlled in a small little field of 3. It was barely an exercise gallop, did what she had to do, but she has been placed to MIDWEEK when she led at her only start. That was at Ascot back early in May. Now, she was scratched at Bunbury, I think, late August, or with a little setback, might have been the case. The pads are on here, but she's got some ability, and 11 is the other one that I'm interested in Playa del Sol, who comes here on debut, Star Spangled Banner filly, with a very much informed Lucy Fiore in the saddle. I thought that the way that she trialled, they've been interesting. They've been interesting because the one back there in September where she chased the leader, she got very tired. That was on a soft 6 track, so we gave her a forgive there. Better trial, dropped out to last and finished off, I thought, really strongly. She's got form through Elite Bow, Pygmalion, back through a trial in August. So I'm going to suggest here at, double figures, Playa del Sol. With El Fiore aboard, she can play a part, and your selection there digs very much so, 90 miles straight. Out of a stakes-winning mare, Kaiguna. I like the trial a bit like yourself there, but she's in the mix. 8, 4, 11 and 10.
Scotty?
8, 7, 4 and 11. I wanted to have Exceed the Boom in there as well, but after I thought he fought on well from being wide throughout first up, but he looks like he's wide throughout again. 8, 7, 4 and 11.
8, 10, 4, 2 for me. I'm with the favourite here, Moonwalk, from 10, 90 miles straight, 4, Dance With Me, and 2, Exceed the Boom. All things considered, I thought the first up run was quite sound. 8, 10, 4, 2.
That's for Diggers. Scott with 8, 7, 4 and 11 in the first, and Darren with 8, 4, 11 and 10. So that trialer that you gentlemen have spoken about did get out to $17, 90 miles straight. Now into 10. The place is at $2.50 with Tap Touch, so keep an eye. Today, race 1. Second event, all emergencies come out. Numbers 12, 13, 14 and 15. Race number 2 at Northam. Tab Touch Scan, My Bet Maiden, 1,300 metres, $2.40. Philomea did touch as much as $2.50, so been pretty solid throughout betting. Diamond Warrior, $7. Peaceful Ruler at $7.50. $8.50 about Malagasy. Darren, something
Malagarasi.
Yep, that's what I said.
The river in Tanzania, TC. Mm-hmm. Be better.
Yeah, sorry. I was pretty young when I went there. Spellborn at $8.50 and Tabba Tabba Boom. A wide draw, $9.50, but Joey gave it a push, Diggers.
Yeah, he did, and you can understand why, because she has this time in run second, third and second behind a couple of handy ones. I think Fine Star's better than average, and certainly Charmer, who Mitchell Pateman threw out, was very, very impressive. But Philomea, to be fair, we spoke to Jace Buckley before the first up run, Scott. He indicated that this filly would perhaps be ridden a little bit quiet. She would improve on what she did. She was fired to find a spot outside the lead, and she fought on okay behind her. A handy one in long service leaf.
Well, I think for Holly, she sort of found herself jumping too well for her own good. Yep. First up, no trial, and then the choice is grab hold and restrain hard over 1,000, or do what she did and ride her forward to the breeze. But I think more importantly was Jace's point that she was underdone for that event, and the market was certainly aware of that. She was very easy at betting. I think when we interviewed Jace in the morning, she was 330, 340.
Probably a little bit fresh too, the fact that she hadn't trialled going into it, and hence why she got out of the gates a bit bullish, and she was closer there than what they would have maybe liked on paper going into it tactically.
She got out to $7, so she doubled in price between the morning and race day. So hopefully here today there is improvement in her. Goes from 1,000 straight out in distance to the 13. I thought she was probably the one to beat, but short enough at the same time.
Yeah, she's my pick in the race. She deserves to win. I'm going to be selecting Philomea here in the race because she's got that, lovely bank of form from good quality racing back in the autumn through the Gimcrack. The size, her effort there was exceptional. So I'm going to lead there with her. 1,300, if anything, could be a question. The question I wanted to ask you, Scott, digs too, you start looking at form. There's a few in the race there that, they caught the eye last start. Olaf the Snowman charging right up near the rail. You had Watto's Warrior finishing pretty much close to it. Is that form any good, Toronado Rocket?
Well, he flopped during the week, but don't forget that day at Belmont Park, the inside 2 lanes was like a freeway.
Yep.
Anything that pulled wide couldn't go a yard.
Cutaway
inside section.
Dynamite.
So there were a few there that shot up along the inside, and it was a theme of the day that were any old price a place. They may have been right place, right time. I probably take the view, especially considering the prices that they went around, that I need to see them do it again.
I'm questioning the form. That's the point that I'm making here, and I'm coming right back here to, I think, what is absolutely gilt-edged, and that is Philomea. She can only but improve here with that run under her belt. Diamond Warrior will probably come out of barrier 5 now with those scratchings there. Trialled up without any blinkers on recently, didn't read much into it there. Back in May was placed in confidence. Now Hol Enough ran third in that race and has since subsequently come back from a break, gone to Bunbury and won a maiden. So that might be okay. Drawn a reasonably low draw. There is money for Olaf the Snowman. It was $15 into 10 initially from the Gangemi stable, who are rolling into a little bit of form right at the moment. Sits around the $11 mark currently. And if it can come on out of that run, and that's the question mark, it'll be there. Competitive, I'm sure. Peaceful Ruler is first up, debuting here today, and it's trialled well enough there. There's a trial behind He's Phoenix and Win-Las Vegas. So, you've got to suggest that might be the case. I don't know what you do with the recent form of By the Wood. Went there to Northam on the weekend. Is that the one out of Fabergino?
Correct.
Wood and Bassett. Got back, raced a bit greenly, maybe a forgive run there. Look, there's a lot of questions about some of these other horses beyond Philomea, and I didn't quite know what to do with Tabba Boom. I thought that 1,200 might string her out. She seems to get there and then just peak a bit on her run. So,
well, that's concerning if this is a 13.
13, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. My point is 1,300 to the question mark, because those last two have been at 1,200.
I'm actually going to go her way, Tabba Boom.
Yeah.
I just sold myself on the fact that apart from Philomea, who they were hoping to ride conservatively first up, so second up they might take that approach and ride her with cover, all of a sudden I didn't think there was any speed in this race. So I'm actually going to go with Tabba Boom to cross them from the outside and get a much cheaper run than it might look initially at the each-way price. The recent form lines behind Fine Star and Win for Buster, and then behind Charmer, beat home Spirited Strike, who won on the weekend. Yep. So there's just something to work with there. 9 for me, Tabba Boom. From 8, Philomea. 5 in Malagasy. Just looked like he needed further. Those 950 trials, too short for him. Good starting point for him. And 1 Diamond Warrior, but still very green. 9851.
8319 for me. Philomea on top from 3. Olaf the Snowman. I take your point that was a fast lane where he was in, but he did get to the line well and was good through the line. So the benefit of that run, the fact that the yard's humming, I'm happy to have him in the mix. 1 Diamond Warrior fresh and 9 Tabba Boom. 8319.
8316, TC.
8316 for Darren. All right, that's to go with Scott. 9, 8, 5 and 1. And Digby with 8, 3, 1 and 9. Closing in on the traffic, but we'll get through race number 3. We'll push on. Race 3, Tab Touch. You've got the Touch Maiden, 1,600 metres, and there's no scratchings. Miss Verve at $3.40, out from $2.70. $6 into $4, last mile. $6 in Solid Corsa Venetia. $12 into $7.50 Harris Road. $8 to $9 is Macho Aguero. Drifter at $11 is Yolda Knight after that first up run there at 2J. All right, race number 3 at Northam. Darren, favourite, had a lot of chances.
Yeah, a lot, yes. Fourth run in the preparation. I followed her first up. I thought that the way that she trialled Miss Verve, I went and rolled the dice over a mile first up at Northam. I thought that she ran terrifically in that maiden Bondi Star, a horse having her first run. Then they put a noseband on her next start. behind Startling Star, and the stewards reported there that she resented that, and also the fact that she was coming off just 6 days since her debut run, so it was a very quick step, and then brought her back to 1400 last start, where she got held up in the home straight until well into it. That was the race that Linchpin, who's a nice horse, and Hoya Destroyer ran 1 and 2. I think that's strong enough. I haven't seen enough in too many of her rivals, really, to suggest that she won't have any trouble beating them. I think this is her race, and back to 1600 is her wheelhouse.
Back to 1600, I'm big on that. And I think that they've just, with a very difficult reading between the lines mare, I think they've just figured out to ride her as cold as possible, save her up, keep her in one piece, because when Brad Parnham rode her those 2 runs, she travelled into it like she was about to slide straight on by, and then when he really went for her, there wasn't a lot left. So I think she just needs to be ridden in one particular manner. So good opportunity here today for Chloe and Miss Verve. This is as weak as it gets.
I agree. Yeah, she gets a look. She gets a really good look today.
Well, when you've got Last Mile at $4 there on the second line of the market, that suggests, and I'm no rap with the respect here for Last Mile, it was 6 into 390 early. I thought, hello, what's going on here? And it's 12 to 1600 metres. Had a excuse of some sort last start to He's a Phoenix, but I hadn't seen all that much previous to that.
Well, an easy comparison to make is Yelda Knight went around $10 at 2J. We'll go around $10 in this. So it's more or less
your numbers,
maiden
Scotty?
handicap types. Yep. I'm going to go Last Mile. I quite like the last start run behind He's a Phoenix, who's won on a Saturday, behind Mr. Kissinger, who's a winner, behind Must Be Nice, who's a winner. 7 Last Mile, 6 Miss Verve, down to the 9 in Corso Venetia if Rocky could lead with 51, and 4 Harris Road, who kept battling on but beating a massive margin. 7, 6, 9, 4.
Same 4 numbers, different order for me, but I'm here 6 Miss Verve from 4 Harris Road. I think he'll probably be better over further. He looks like grinding type. 7 Last Mile, question mark at the mile for me, and 9, I agree, Corso Venetia with Rocky on, expecting him to be nice and positive and perhaps strings them out a little bit. 6, 4, 7 and 9.
Yes, same 4. Order slightly different, 6, 7, 9 and 4. Good money Harris Road early when the markets were put up there. They tried to pinch a little bit of overs. It was 13 and now into 750.
All right, that's Darren 6, 7, 9 and 4. Scott with 7, 6, 9 and 4. And then Diggers with 6, 4, 7 and 9 in race number 3 today at Northam.
This midweek Metropolitan Preview on the Sports Daily is presented by Tab Touch.
All right. I suppose halfway through the program at Northam, we'll call it that. 3 races down, 4 to go. The maths don't quite work out, but we'll roll with it. 12, 13 and 14 come out of race number 4 there at Northam. The Tab Touch Share My Bet maiden over the 1400 metres, and surely today is the day for the favourite Hoya Destroyer at $2.15. Backed in from a top fluck of $2.60. Vexatious Rose at $4. Invincible Thief, who hasn't trialled too badly, at $7. Rebelato at $8.50. And Delicate Warrior at $10, heading the remainder of the field. Betting-wise, it's basically been one-way traffic. There has been a little bit of support for Vexatious Rose, but it's all about Hoya Destroyer. Scott, your best bet of the day?
Today's the day, TC, and if not, it's a long drive home from Northam.
It is.
I just think... I think that this is his opportunity to finally put his head down. That race behind Max Verstappen sectionally was ludicrous. They walked so slow the first 800, and he was at the back and over-racing chronically. It was a nightmare for Stevie Parnham. And then last start, I thought he was really good behind what we think could be a very nice 3-year-old in Linchpin. Post-race, Darren McCall said Linchpin looks like his Derby horse for this year, and this weekend will take him straight to a graduation on a Saturday. So for Hoya Destroyer, he ran second. Vexatious Rose ran third. You might even get it in the previous with Miss Verve, who ran 7th in that form reference. I think it's the right race. I think he gets the right run. And I think he can hold off Vexatious Rose in what looks a fairly obvious Quinella.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Hoya Destroyer very much in your corner here. Vexatious Rose, I've liked the 2 runs, both from awkward gates in this campaign. I just wonder if she might not be looking for 1600, not 14, and this is where I think Hoya Destroyer can cover off and get this job done today. You talk about that Max Verstappen race there. He'd run second. Pharaoh Show had run third in it, and that form was enhanced with a win and placing out of it. And then, of course, bumping into Lynchpin, having to go back from a wide draw. It was a good run. I think Lynchpin's a horse we're going to be following very closely in the near future. So, number 2 with me, Degs, Hoya Destroyer.
Yeah, I'll make
Plugged
a clean
in.
sweep. Yep, clean sweep for me.
To beat 8, Vexatious Rose, a Delicate Warrior first up 1,400 metres. You start looking around and seeing placings to playing around, and Machine Gun Gracie, from its last preparation, it was really solid. What have you made of its trials here? It's coming out of a very difficult lid.
Hard to tell some of those trials with a junior rider. So somewhat more forgiving than maybe the eye was. The other David Harrison runner in Invincible Thief, I thought she trialled quite well behind Diamond Scene. She also trailed in blinkers, which is a bit odd. But I've got them 2 from 8, 6, 10. I'll include On Debut, Gilded Rain, with a set of shades going on out of the trials. 2, 8, 6, 10, but today the day for Hoya Destroyer.
Okay, 2 for me as well. 8 Vexatious Rose, 3 Delicate Warrior, 1 Ribolato. And look, at $51, I wouldn't give up on Abstracted just yet. There have been a myriad of excuses there for her. She shouldn't be $51 in the betting. Look, she might be a fluker's hope of running into a leg of your exotic in the race if you're looking for a Maddie. So 2, 8, 3, 1, Dig.
2, 8, 6, 1 for me, Darren, TC, Scott. I'm with Hoya Destroyer. Gets his opportunity today. He's racing well. Looks a really good setup for him. 2, 8, 6, 1 for I.
That's for Diggers. Scott with 2, 8, 6 and 10, and Darren with 2, 8, 3 and 1. Race number 4. Tab Touch, past the post payouts, handicap, class 1, 1,100 metres, race number 5 at Northam today. So Perfect Chant comes out. Probably one of the more interesting runners on the program. I'm not too sure about you, gentlemen, but she was difficult to place in this race, I thought. Heatherwood, the favourite, at 340. Sesh at 390. King's Drama at 460. Manjiri at 6. Mama Bell at 7. Snip of Romance, $9. And Bonnie Rock at 12. So all runners, all 7 of them, between $340 and $12. Diggers, I thought that summed it up.
Yeah, that's probably right. Perfect Chant. Yeah, you're right. She was a hard horse to assess. I'm not sure where Darren and Scott had her in their numbers, but I sort of had her for third.
Barely. Jury's right out there with me, Diggs.
Unfortunately, but anyway, hope all is okay with her. Very even race. You've got Heatherwood, who they were climbing out of trees to back and got the money. The form out of that race has been a little bit so-so, if you're to be kind. Tough race, and the market reflects that. I thought the effort the other day, and I know he rises the obligatory 2 kilos from a maiden to a class 1, King's Drama. I thought the first up 4th was okay behind True Fiction, and then dead heating with Mr. Kissinger. It was a decent enough effort. Now he is 1,200 back to 11, and he probably settles a little bit worse than midfield, but I think he's a horse with a little bit of upside, to be fair. He's certainly come back in good order and is reflecting the way the yard's going.
Well, three last start maiden winners, all back in distance. So Manjiri, 13 back to 11. King's Drama, 12 to 11. Heatherwood, 12 back to 11. Does it suit any of that trio?
Don't know. We'll find out.
And you had Manjiri leading last start after, backmarking its first 2 runs, but who leads here when you're coming back to an 1,100? Is it going to be left to a Sesh? Is it going to be left to maybe from barrier 2, Snip of Romance?
I know that he's drawn outside of Manjiri, but I'm team Sesh.
Yep.
He's placed twice leading at 1,200 metres, so I don't think the distance holds any reservations.
So it might map okay here, Diggs, for your pick in the race, King's Drama. I'm with you. Always the concern out of a maiden into these class 1s when you've got to carry the 60 kilos. The strike rate for horses doing that isn't particularly great, but he does, as you rightly say, show upside. And in a challenging race, I'm 3. I thought that Mama Bell, she could be an on-pacey type mare fresh today, first up. I thought the trial was good given the fact that she covered a fair bit of ground on the speed in the trial. I know Storm Lord failed first up at Bunbury coming out of it, but I think if you assess the trial just for her alone, it was good enough. And she's coming out of a nice enough draw. She's a bit of a value leg at $7. What do you do with Heatherwood? You touched upon the avalanche of money that came and got the job done, beat another well-tried horse in the race, Doble Onada, who failed at its next start. So that's a concern to me at least. And then you've got Manjeri coming back from 13 into an 1100. $13 into $7.50 before the scratching of Perfect Chance. Sits at $6 this morning. But where does it get to here? So, yeah, there's a lot of questions, and I don't know if I've got that many answers, really. I'm going to be in your corner, though, Digby. 3, King's Drama. The form of the stable, very good. To beat 6, Mama Bell, 2, Heatherwood, 4, Manjeri. That's as much as I can offer there in the 5th.
And the other thing about Perfect Chant coming out is it's now pay 1-2 as well.
Correct.
So you can't even sort of get involved in one each way. 5 for me, Sesh, first up, overdid it on a soft 7. Second up, much better behind Surfside Session. Third up here today in a race where I thought they could go forward, looked a bit more suitable. 2, Heatherwood. 6, Mama Bell. Sat 3 deep the trip, no cover in that trial and kept coming. And 4, Manjeri. 5, 2, 6 and 4.
3, King's Drama on top from 5, Sesh. 2, Heatherwood. And 6, Mama Bell, TC.
3, 5, 2 and 6 for Digby. Macca, you with 3, 6, 2 and 4.
3, 6, 2, 4.
Yep, well done. And Scott 5, 2, 6 and 4, race number 5. Race number 6, Tab Touch. Have you got the touch handicap? Class 5, 1,600 metres. Frappuccino comes out number 6, so some of the speed taken out of the race. Worcester. The Source, $3.70. $3.90, I'm Napoti. $4.20, Covert Rose. $6, Atlanta Speech. $6.50, Major Mario. Did a good job after getting flattened last time. Harbin, 14, Skedder, 15, Estimator at $23. Who would like to start? Anyone want to put their hand up?
I think this is the best race of the day, TC. It's a good little race. I can make a case for each of the top 5 and a genuine case for each of them. Let's start with the speed. Frappuccino comes out.
Yeah.
The big beneficiary of that surely is Worcester.
You would think so?
He looked like he was drawn a bit tricky with Frappuccino in the race. Drawn outside Frappuccino, outside Estimator. Now all of a sudden he should be able to march his way across into a good spot. No? Crickets? Sweet.
Oh, no, with
I thought you would keep
Estimator.
going.
I thought Worcester and Estimator would probably pair off in front, and you could certainly envisage here that a horse like Major Mario is going to get a nice enough run. He'll need pace on. Maybe that's come off a degree with Frappuccino scratching. And Atlanta Speech will probably have to be sitting in behind them. Where do you see him, like 1-3?
Something like that.
In transit? And for that reason, I think one of the significant parts about the race is that whilst he's only won 3 of his 35 starts at Atlanta Speech, there's been a common denominator. S. O'Donnell's been on board every time. And he gets back on board this afternoon, all wins. And his last win was in this class. And I thought that the effort last start to Stormageddon, stronger company, off the course was very good. That was off a return at 1,300 where he got back in the field and was beaten 5 to Eccentric Nature. I think that form's very good for this type of a race. So I'm happy to play Atlanta Speech to bounce back into the winners list.
So am I.
He'll need a little bit of luck. I'm actually with Atlanta Speech as well.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
He's just a horse who he's going to need a tempo. We sit here and we go, well, it doesn't appear to be a great deal, but I'm in agreement with Darren in regards to Estimator and Worcester. I thought they could perhaps be in the prominent positions, small field suits. He does have a turn of foot on occasions, Atlanta Speech, and the best version of him is competitive in a race of this nature. And if you're thinking Eccentric Nature, he was successful again on grand final day at a short quote. And Storm again, we had a good chat to Liam and where they see this horse. So Atlanta Speech each way, not the worst way to approach this race. And I agree with Scott, though, this is the best race of the day.
And it's probably the most suitable race that he's been in for such a long time, Atlanta Speech. He does a lot of racing outside the handicap in races that are probably just a little bit above him.
Yeah.
And then Cliffy Green's only got a handful of horses, but they are going well.
They are indeed too. Look, with Worcester, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a horse who's going to give you a genuine performance. He's at his wheelhouse, 1,600 here once again, and he's going to park and ride the speed. So you know what you are going to get there as far as Worcester is concerned. So I've got him as the danger. Covert Rose, whether or not she can carry 60, it's W. Pike. Major Mario would need the pace on, but back to 1,600 I thought was a tick there for him. I'm going 4, 3, 1 and 2.
4, 5, 1 and 3. Only addition for me is I'm Napoti, who was getting through the line really well behind the stablemate first up. Second up straight out to 1600. 4, 5, 1, 3.
4, 1, 2 and 5. Atlantis Beach from Covert Rose, 2 Major Mario and 5 Omnipote. I love the return behind the stablemate. 4, 1, 2, 5.
4, 1, 2, 5 for Diggers. Scott with 4, 5, 1 and 3. Macca, you were 4, 3.
4, 3, 1 and 2.
1 and 2. All right, beautiful. 1 and 2. Major Mario looks to map beautifully in that race. Just race number 7 at Northam. Tab Touch supports Northam Race Club. Class 3, 1,300 metres. Take out 7, 9 and 13. 280 now. There are some scratchings there. Rain Line was certainly in the market. 280 into $1.90. Fast Harry now. Divine Beautiful at $4.60. $10 Golden Kathleen. $12 Pure Obsession. $12 Hobor Meteor. $14 Ishker. $15 Our Nemesis. 20 and up. The remainder of the field. How do we finish the day, Digger B?
Yeah, well, I'm with Fast Harry here, TC. The 2 trials, I thought the first trial was good, the second trial better, faster time behind a handy enough one in Scorpion Ruler. So he'll settle in a rearward spot, you would think, from that gate, fresh, but I'm expecting that Fast Harry is going to be able to run past them here. I think he is a horse with some upside for mine.
Yeah. I've always been a believer in Fast Harry. He is, however, going to get short. I mean, he already is. He's odds on. It's just the difficulty of backing one of these lightly raced horses of Grant and Alana's, especially when Willie rides them, is that they get so short.
That's the point of difference here in terms of what you know of the horse's ability and what they're capable of. If you're prepared to marry that up to the price, take the price there and roll the dice first up. And if you go back to his first up run, $1.40 there, he finished off the race well, but found the 1200 too short there to Cantrix, our Paladinella horse that you've got a lot of time for, Scotty, and then bounced into a 1400. It was impressive. At Ascot, came off the camber, and it was Spinnaker up. Gee, it was a good performance in victory.
And then what I loved about it was they tipped him straight out.
Oh, look, I'm keen about Fast Harry to win the last of the day. I think whatever beats him will win, and if he realises his potential, which he clearly has a fair bit of there, he'll kick off this campaign at 1,300, which is another, I think, ideal starting point for this horse, somewhere in the middle of those first 2 runs that we saw of him last time around. So happy to be with 4.
Fast Harry for me as well. Tip no bet. If I was to play devil's advocate, Social Affair the other day was the first provincial winner out of that race. Prior to that, there'd been 39 runners for 2 country winners. So he beat nothing that day, but it was more the manner in which he did it. 4, Fast Harry. 5, Pure Obsession. Trialled without shades, got landed into the 72-plus trial, so racing against horses with far more ability or exposed form than what he had. I didn't think he was terrible, so I've got him in for second with the shades going on. 6, Define Beautiful, backed in grade, maps nicely. She's definitely showing a bit more consistency now. And 11, I've got in there, Champese. Had her first run for Nikita Barber, nearly should have beaten them. Was a great run behind Hymns of Eladir, got held up horribly on straightening and then charged late. 4, 5, 6 and 11.
Or the fact that Champese is still $20 there, because I think it is, if not a danger, it can certainly run second to Fast Harry. It's my clear second pick in the race, Champese.
Number 11.
Yeah, it's only had 4 runs, I think, overall for Nikita.
It wouldn't be many.
And they've all been really good runs. So I'm happy to have Champese right there. Our Nemesis first up, well, he is a bit of an enigma. I think if he brought his best fresh, he would be right there, very competitive. And like you, Scotty, I think Define Beautiful has found a little bit of consistency with the form. So 4, 11, 1, 6.
11, 1 and 6. All right, Digby.
Okay, my best comes up in the last here. That is Fast Harry. Expect him to be awfully hard to beat off what he's produced previously in the 2 trials. 4, 2, 11 and 5 for me. So Fast Harry on top from 2, Golden Kathleen, 11, Champese, Love the Return, and 5, Pure Obsession. 4, 2, 11 and 5.
That's for Digby. Scott's with 4, 5, 6, 11. Darren's with 4, 11, 1 and 6. Okay, Scott, best bets?
Race 4, number 2, Hoya Destroyer.
That's it, just the one?
Singular.
Okay, Darren?
Best for me, race 4, number 2.
Okay.
Hoya Destroyer.
Lovely. Scott, Give us a play of the day, please.
Race 2, number 9, Tabba Tabba Boom to run a place. Into race 4, number 2, Hoya Destroyer, the win, $6 the double.
Okay, place into a win. Darren?
Mine will be race 5, number 4, King's Drama. Now, the price there at the moment is 460, and you can roll that into Atlantis Beach, race 6, number 4, and it's $6.
Okay, a win multi.
There you go.
Featuring Atlantis
all up
Beach.
Win multi, yep.
Wow.
King's Drama, Atlantis Beach.
That's what you call gutsy.
Just collect.
Just collect.
Get in the queue.
All right, gentlemen, enjoy Northam.
Yeah, by the way, my lay for the day was going to be perfect chance, so I've done a real good job there.
Well, you can't win.
No. I've got nothing else.
Take a horse on, Scott. Would you like to put your you-know-whats on the table?
Yeah, I think Covert Rose is on a mark.
Okay, all right. Enjoy Northam. We'll try again.
Thank you, mate. Good as gold.
Happy calling and happy broadcasting, Scott.
Can't wait, TC.
Yeah, well, you sound good
Fired
anyway. Yeah, look forward to tuning in. Race number 7 will be right on our knees.
Northam today, York tomorrow, back at Ascot Saturday.
Ascot Saturday puts a spring in the step.
It's certainly going to be good.
Inside running from 8 o'clock.
Beautiful. Thanks, mate.
Looking forward to it. All right, we'll head out to a break.